Chapter 5. The Indian Desert. Introduction to the chapter. A desert is a flat area covered with sand. It has a very little vegetation. The state of Rajasthan lies in the southwestern part of the northern plains. The Aravalli Hills divide it into two parts. The western part is a big desert and the land is covered with sand. This area has hardly any vegetation and is called the Indian Desert or the Thar Desert. The Thar Desert. The Indian Desert or the Thar Desert extends from Aravalli Hills to the border of Pakistan in the west and from Rann of Kutch in the southwest to the border of Haryana. It is about 580 kilometers long and 100 kilometers to 300 kilometers wide. The Thar Desert is made up of rock and sands. There are small hills of sand which are called sand dunes. Strong winds can easily move the sand from one place to another, and thus the sand dunes do not remain at one place. They keep on moving and their shape and sizes also change from time to time. Climate and vegetation. The climate of the desert is of the extreme type. In the desert areas, the summer season is very hot and the winters are very cold. After the sun sets, the sand cools down quickly and thus the nights are very cold. There is hardly any rainfall. There are no permanent rivers but only some small streams that are usually dry. They start flowing only when it rains. Vegetation is limited here. It is difficult to build roads and railway lines in a desert. Camels is the chief mode of transportation here. A camel can lie for days without food and water. It is thus very useful in a desert because there is always a shortage of water. At some places, the underground water comes up to surface rough a spring and forms big pools. Such a green and lush area in the desert is called an oasis. Some trees like date palms, kikar, babul and grass grow near oases. Most of the villages come up around such oases. People can grow crops of jowar and bajra around an oasis. Shortage of water. Deserts are generally formed because of shortage of water in a place. The soil in the desert is quite fertile, but it is difficult to grow crops because there is little or no water. The situation is now changing. The government is making serious efforts to improve the life of the people in the desert areas. Water has been brought to the desert from the Satluj River through the Indira Gandhi Canal. The water from this canal is used for irrigation. A big farm has already been developed at Suratgarh in Rajasthan. The blooming of the desert has begun. Style of people. Life is very hard here. There is little vegetation due to scarcity of water. The people mostly rear sheep, goats, camels, and cattle. Camel is a very useful animal in the desert. It can survive without food and water for many days. They lead a nomadic life. They have to go from place to place in search of pastures for their animals. Clothes and festivals. People wear colorful clothes. Men wear mostly dhoti, kurta and turban. Women wear ghagra, choli and odhni. The main festivals of Rajasthan are Gangaur, Teej, Dashehra, Diwali, Holi and Eid. Rajasthan has many forts and palaces. Jaipur is the capital of Rajasthan. It is called Pink City. Ajmer, Jodhpur, Udaipur, Bikaner, etc. are other big towns. Mount Abu is a small but beautiful hill station.